What is up, guys? My name's Travis and we are back, and you know why we're here. This is poker vlog number 6. We will be playing some deep stacked 1-3 today. Max buy-in is $1,500, which is what I will be buying in for. If the 2-5 game looks really good, I might take a stab at that, but I don't know. This 1-3 plays like a big 2-5 game, and I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm gonna go in here, gonna play my best, which is not that great, but nonetheless, that's what we're gonna do. And a side note for 2 quick seconds, only 5 videos in and we are sitting at 725 subscribers, which is like crazy to me. I've gotten a ton of support on this channel for being so early on. I mean, I only started like 3 weeks ago. So just want to say a quick thank you to everybody that's taking the time to watch these, subscribe. I probably sound like a dead horse, or sound like I'm beating a dead horse rather, but it's truly overwhelming the amount of support that I've had. And it takes me a long time to put these together, but you guys make this well worth it. And I'm always looking for ways to keep improving my videos. But if you're taking the time out of your day to watch my content, that is definitely what you deserve. So again, just truly appreciate everybody that has watched these and subscribed. Now that is out of the way though, I'm ready to go hit the poker tables. Hopefully I give you guys some good content. Hopefully I run good. Without further ado, let's go. We sit down our first hand at this 1-3 table after buying in for $1,500. There are a couple limps before me. I look down at pocket sixes, so I go ahead and raise it up to $20. And we get 2 callers, so we're going 3 ways to our first flop, which comes ace-7-4 with 2 clubs. Obviously not a great board, but you can't expect to hit sets most of the time. I'm going to go ahead and bet my range once it's checked to me. I just make a simple C-bet for $20, and it seems to get the job done. Everyone folds, and we scoop a very quick $60 pot to start off the session. Shortly after that first hand, we have a dealer change, which means a double board bomb pot here at this card room. I look down at ace-5 offsuit. Could be better, but could be worse. And everyone throws in $10. We go 9 ways to 2 boards. So $90 in the middle. Board 1 comes Jack-7-9, all spades. Board 2 is Ace-4-5 with 2 hearts. So I have 2 pair on one of the boards and have absolutely nothing on the other board. I'm first to act. Obviously, I'm going to check. It checks all the way around to the later position player who bets out $35. And I have 2 pair on one board. I mean, I essentially have it locked up. Granted, if another flush does not come in. So I just can't go anywhere yet. I make the call for $35 more, and so does the player to my left. And it gets around to the next gentleman who thinks it over for a while, and he puts in the call as well. So we definitely have some action here. And we're going to go to a turn card with absolutely nothing on one board, but the other board feeling pretty good on top 2 pair. And the turn brings a queen on board 1 and a king on board 2, which is the board I'm playing. I check, obviously, and everyone slows down and checks around here. And the river brings a 3 of diamonds and a queen of diamonds. So, doesn't really change too much, again, on the board that I'm playing. I check. Player to my left slides out a pretty chunky bet of $111, which is all the rest of his chips. He's ready to gamble. He's all in. And it is back on the player across from me to my right there who goes in the tank for forever. I mean, this has to be the toughest decision this guy's made in quite a while. And he's taken his time, which I definitely respect. A lot of money on the table to a lot of people. And he finally finds a fold after a little over a minute of thinking about it. And now it's on me. And guess what? It's my turn to go in the tank. This is a pretty loose call here. Again, I'm really unfamiliar with these for the most part. I probably shouldn't play them, but I like to be a good sport. I have 2 pair on one board and absolutely nothing on the other one. But I don't think I can really go anywhere for this pricing compared to the pot. I need to call 111 to win 341. And I have 2 pair, man. So, whatever. I'm no nit. I'm here to play. I go ahead and slip in the call and put my chips in the middle, saying, here we go. Hopefully you don't have ace queen. I have 2 pair, and he flips over the jack 9 for the 2 pair on the other board. So, as expected in these, we chop it up, and we scoop a decent little profit here in our first bomb pot. This hand, there's a raise of $15. Person to my right makes a call, and I look down at 2 black kings. That's a mandatory 3-bet. I go to $55 here, and everyone pretty quickly folds. And I can tell that I'm going to be playing at a tighter table today than I have in previous sessions. So I have a grind ahead of me, but I'm locked in. I'm ready for it. The straddle is on to $6. I'm in the small blind first act. I look down at king 10 of diamonds, and I raise it up to $18 by the book. That's the proper bet sizing. And I get 3-bet to only $40, 2 positions over by a tighter player on my left there to the left of the dealer. And everyone else folds. Have not hardly seen any 3-bets here at this table, and you usually don't playing 1-3. You don't see a ton of them. So it indicates a lot of strength, especially a min raise, but that could just be an error on his end. I should probably fold if it was a bigger raise, but for $22 more, I have a suited Broadway. I'm definitely not going to be folding. I put in the call, and let's go to a flop. Heads up. The board comes king, queen, 8 with 2 spades, so we flop top pair, which is great news. However, he has all the stronger hands in his range. I check over to him, and he checks back pretty quickly, so kind of turning his hand face up, potentially, but I'm not going to bite. Here on the turn, I'm not going to lead in. I check over to him. He thinks for a moment and checks back. And that brings us to a river, which is the ace of diamonds. Not ideal. I was probably going to lead out here to try to get value from what I think is pocket jacks, possibly pocket tens. But he checks. After I check to him, I flip over my king 10, and we're good to scoop a nice, boring pot. But nonetheless, we have some great momentum going our way. This hand gets really interesting as time goes on. I look down at king jack offsuit, and there's 2 limpers before me. I raise it up to $15. 2 players make a call. We go 3 ways to a flop. 7, 6, 7 with 2 spades. I do have the king of spades, which is the only thing going for me. It checks around. Turn comes queen of spades, which is a pretty good card for me to bet out at. I double check, make sure I have the king of spades. I could definitely represent a queen here with my pre-flop raising range, and I have a spade in my hand, so it could get some action from a weaker spade draw. And also, if I raise in here, build up a pot, if I am beat right now, I can put in a chunky river bet if another spade does come. Initial guy puts in the call, and then the guy to my right also makes a call, so definitely needing to improve here on the river, which we do with the miracle card 9 of spades. First act checks. The gentleman to my right checks. It's on me, and I could go pretty big here, but I just have a bit of a suspicious feeling. I think they would play a super strong hand or weak hands this way, but I definitely cannot check this back with the king of spades. I bet out $50, and it is back over on the gentleman to the left of the dealer. He folds pretty quickly, and it's back over to my friend here on the right side of me, and he's thinking for a while. And I think he's thinking between calling and folding, so I'm just hoping for a call at this point. I see him reach for some chips. I'm like, yes, time to pay me. But then he raises me to 150. Oh no, I want to be sick. He's played some pretty wacky hands to start off with, like pre-flop, but I've not really seen him get out of line at all post-flop. And I just don't think he's ever bluffing here. And I've been working on not being a call station. I have the king high flush, but he's representing the ace high flush or a full house, both of which I think he would play the same way. Like I said, I'm looking at my cards, diddly-daddling around. I've pretty much already made my decision at this point. I'm getting ready to throw my cards away, and he says, good fold, and he shows me the straight flush right as I'm about to fold. So he had the nuts. Wow, nice hand, my friend. Good thing I was getting ready to throw my cards away. I had to do a double take when he showed me. I said, oh my god, I can beat a 10 high flush. Why'd you show me that? And then I put the pieces together. So congrats, he hit the high hand, and he got some value from me playing it tricky. Nice hand, buddy. There's a straddle on the button, a flat call from the big blind. The straddle's to $6, by the way. I look down at King Jack offsuit once again. I bump it up to $20 and only the limper comes along. Heads up to a flop, which comes Jack high, Jack 9 10, 1 club, 2 spades. He checks. I actually don't love this board. If we were multi-way, I probably would not bet out on this. But since we're heads up, you have to be confident with your hand sometimes. Top pair, king kicker. I'm going to bet out for $25. Work on building a pot here. And there's a couple cards that could definitely be improving our equity as well. He thinks it over for quite a while and eventually puts in the call. Turn comes the ace of clubs. So better cards in the deck for me, but he checks again. I'm not going to be barreling off here. This is a pretty sketchy board even with my holding. So I check back and the river comes the queen of clubs. So it gives me the straight on the river. And I have the king of clubs, which as the real pros say, I have a blocker to the flush. And I'm not too concerned about the backdoor flush getting there. He thinks it over for a while and eventually checks over to me. And I think I definitely need to be going for some value here. Again, I'm not too concerned about the flush at this point. And I basically have the nuts if you take the flush out of the equation. I bet out $50. He throws in the 1 chip non-believer call. I show him the bad news. He looks at his cards, says, I had the low end of the straight, and he flipped over 98 of diamonds. And we scoop a decent little pot here, back on the winning train, back on the good momentum swing of things. This next hand, there is a double straddle onto 12, a raise to 35, 2 people call 35, and I'm on the button, and I look down at ace, king of clubs. So what choice do I have? I'm going to squeeze this with one of my best hands I'm ever going to do this with, and bump it up to $150. Unlike previous sessions, I clearly have at least a little bit of respect here at this table. The original raiser folds, the first caller folds, the guy to my right looks at his cards again, and he reluctantly decides to throw his cards away, and we take down $120-something pre-flop, no contest. We're all laughing, having a good time, so I show him I wouldn't bluff you guys, and we scoop a nice little pot. The straddle is on the button for $6. I'm in the small blind with ace 5 of diamonds, first to act. I raise it up to $20 and get 3 callers, so we're going to head 4 ways to a flop here, out of position. Brings 9 queen king with 2 diamonds. I'm definitely not going to lead out to this even with a flush draw and of 3 other people. I check, person to my left checks, and the gentleman to my top right throws out a $40 bet. Person to my right snap folds. And I think about check raising here. I think if I'm going to do it, this is a pretty good board to do it on. It's good for my range and also have the flush draw, obviously. But I decided to take the more passive route and throw in a call. And the person on my left makes a fold. So we're going to go heads up to a turn card. And I instantly regret not check raising when the 4 diamond comes on the turn. I try to be sneaky and check still, no sense in leading out, but he checks back really quickly, unfortunately. And the river brings a 5 of hearts. So we have the nut flush and a pair. Wow, we're running hot. I'm definitely going to go for some value now that I have a pair as well. But I decide to lead out. And I go with a pretty polarizing size of $125. I think I should be going for a lesser bet given my hand. If I had like a sneaky set or something like that, sure. But it's tough for him to call with like a top pair holding at this point, because the only thing that I'm really representing here now is a flush. And against a looser opponent, they would probably maybe call me thinking I'm bluffing, but he decides to make a fold. Disciplined player right there, so he probably loses the minimum, but we take down a decent little pot and moving on to the next hand. We have a dealer change shortly after that last hand, which means double board bomb pot time. Hate these, but here we are. Let's play. Everybody throws in $10, 9 ways to a flop. And the board comes 10-5 ace and 7-10 9. An early position player bets out $40 and it folds to me. I have a straight draw on both. I'm opening it on one board and I have a gut shot on the other. So I have potential to the nuts on both boards. So I don't think I can fold, right? No, I'm definitely not going to fold yet. It's actually $45. So I put in the $45 call. And we go heads up to a turn card. The turn brings a 5 of hearts and a 6 of hearts. Obviously does not improve me at all. If I face another bet here, I'm likely going to get out of the way, but he slows down with a check. I check back and we go to a river. And we completely miss everything, as expected, to be expected. I'm expecting him to maybe make another bet here and go for it whether he has it or not, but he glances at his cards, not looking too confident over there across the table, and he slows down and eventually checks. So again, you can never assume what somebody has in these, but he's definitely playing this like he was on a draw and he missed. I don't think a hand with any real value would bet the flop and then check the turn and then check the river again. I'm not interested in going to showdown with just queen high and possibly chopping or just losing to a slightly better hand. So I bet out $75. We're going to go for it. And he snap folds, so we get the bluff through on the double board bomb pot. This hand here ends up being our last one of the session. No straddle on, but there is a limp to $3. I look down at pocket nines, and we're going to raise this up $15 over a limp. And two other people make the call, so we go 3 ways to a flop, which is about as bad as it gets for my specific hand. Ace Jack 10, so 3 overcards. Gotta love it. But this is really good for my range, and I definitely have all the aces and all the strong hands in my range here on this board, but so do they, honestly. But I do decide to bet out $15, but they could have plenty of Jack 10s, straights, straight draws, flush draws. They could have everything on this board. But I do bet 15 and only one player makes a call, and the turn comes the 6 of spades, so it doesn't really change anything. The first player checks again, and I could definitely check back here and give up, but I'm not ready to do that yet. The reason being is I saw the big blind player, that's who I'm playing against, almost check when it got to him pre-flop as to check his $3 big blind until he realized that I raised it up to $15, and then he thought about it for a minute and then decided to come along with the call. So I don't think he has many ace-x hands in his holding right now, or even a Jack 10. So I decide to keep going for it, barrel this river for a little higher bet, and I bet out $35. He thinks about it for a brief moment and throws his cards away. So it looks like my analysis was right. We scoop another small pot that's been the story of the day, but that gets our stack to over $1,800. So I'm happy to take today as a win, even though it's been a little bit of a small pot grinding session. That's what you have to expect sometimes. Let's hit the register, let's cash out, and get on out of here. Alright guys, that is going to conclude today's session. In for 1,500, out for 1,856. Just about 6 hours of playing. I think a little bit over 6 hours of playing today. And that was not the most exciting, swingy, splashy session. I'd love to put like a big catchy title and say, oh my God, everyone won't stop going all in. But let's face it, the majority of the time, poker is not going to be that way. And I'm going to bring you guys along for both the swingy, splashy sessions and the slow, steady grind sessions, just like what happened today. But $356 in about 6 hours, I'll definitely take it. I have to look back over some of the hands I recorded, but I really don't think, in my opinion, I misplayed any hands that I got in. Of course, it's always up for speculation. I'm sure some of my bet sizing was really awkward, as it usually is. I have a lot of improvement to do, but today I just feel like I played good, solid poker. 6 hours, made $356, and I will take it. Hopefully the next session, though, is a little bit more exciting, but nonetheless, I'm happy to take a nice $356 day on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm glad that you guys were able to come along with me and watch. But I'm going to wrap this up here. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I very much look forward to bringing you your next video very soon.